what's happening? You okay?
See you, mate. All good.
See you, mate. You alright? Some place got it, eh?
Well, you're very welcome to the Lightweight Boxing Show, and this week we are in Liverpool. London last week, Liverpool this week. And firstly, before we reveal a bit more of where we are and why we're here, thanks very much indeed for subscribing. More than 1,000 subscribers now, and you know what to do. Get to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, put your notifications on and all the rest, because it's building some fantastic content there, some super duper work from this fella here, and we're going to get a bit more of that, because today we've tracked down another of Anthony's former foes. And it's a bit painful for Anthony, this one, because he's got to relive one very bad memory, one not so bad, but he's got to go deep into himself for this one, because today we're at Derry Mathews gym.
A lot of people were surprised you turned early. Am I right in saying your first professional fight was Preston Guildhall?
Yeah, Preston.
I was there that night.
Preston
You won first round, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember I was there that night, right? So was there never the temptation to try and hold on for Olympic Games, or?
Well, it happened, right, and the reason it did happen is Georgie Vaughan, how I didn't notice, I've been watching the ABAs, going to shows, watching the ABAs, and you could have something special, he said. You could have something special in this kid. Go and sign him. I remember to this day I was out in town with John Welsh, who plays for Liverpool, Welshie.
Yes,
he's coaching now at Preston.
Yeah.
I was speaking to him the other day. Me and Welshie were in town. Welshie had just signed his pro contract at Liverpool, and we're in the music shop, Bang & Olufsen. He was buying new speakers or new whatever. He's just got his Liverpool signing on fee. And my phone rang. At the time there was no social media, there was not a Nokia. Hi mate, it's Gary Mecca. I said, fuck off, put the phone down. I just thought to my lads, I was ABA champion. I was like the new kid on the block. And he went, no, I'd like to come and meet you. Let's have an interview, and I want to speak to you and see what we can offer you. So, long story short, took me over to Chester City. At the time, Stephen Vaughan Jr., Stephen Vaughan Senior, owned Chester City. Offered me a deal, 7 fights a year, bang, signed with Frank Warren. Long story short, again, we went, like for instance, met Gary and Stephen in the office, offered me a deal, blah, blah, and I went, but I haven't got a trainer. And he went, we could get you one. And I was thinking, okay. And then I'll never ever forget it, because I knew how good Georgie Vaughan was and who he'd had over the years. But he hadn't coached anyone for 10 years.
Wow, I didn't know that,
He was retired, he had cancer and had throat cancer, he retired, sat at home, just studied the game, just didn't coach. And I'll never ever forget it. He went, if I get my dad out of retirement, would you turn? I went, if you get your dad out of retirement, I'll sign now.
Yeah.
And I went, I'll sign now. I said, Dan, if you can get your dad, who hasn't coached anyone for over 10 years, to come out of retirement, I must have something about me.
And then a phone call from, I didn't know if that was going to be it for you, but then a phone call for you to come to Oldham Sports Centre, fight for the British title against moi.
I wanted to be the first ever person to box near Arena, and I didn't. I done it, and I got fucking beat. I went on half four on a fucking Saturday night.
Jesus.
I said, I'll put me on first. No one has to be in there. Put me on first, blah, blah. I said, because I'd just been chinned off Lindsay. I was beating Lindsay, put him over twice. Ended up getting chinned in the last round. Said to Adam Boone, I just need a win. Just get me a win. David Day's team, and then Richard Poxon played with Spartan. Get me a win, blah, blah. Anyway, end up going on, no one in there, not even anyone in the crowd. I got beat by Ali Ramagoldi, who then retired. I was like, wow. So then that was 3 losses on the bounce. Satanta went bust.
Yes.
So my contract was up.
Yeah.
And then I quit. I
thought, did you have a little break?
I quit for 2 years.
Yeah.
I had 2 years out.
So there, you put a few good wins together, and then it ended then fighting for an IBO world title. I'm right in saying to Marsilli.
Marsilli.
And then, And then a phone call from, I didn't know that that was going to be it for you, but then a phone call come to for you to come to Oldham Sports Centre, fight for the British title against against moi. And wow.
We ended up going to Lanzarote for a bit of training camp, get the weight off because I was heavy.
Do you know what, the way it took me a few years to realise that was the biggest blessing in disguise. Like for years I was thinking, shouldn't have been stopped, shouldn't have been this, shouldn't have been that. But no, it was the biggest blessing in disguise. It was a bit premature. Do you know what? I knew it.
Well, listen, I'm not complaining.
But at the same time, listen, I get it now, and I could swear I thought that was premature, but I might have got ironed out, like, of the power that Derry carried, tiring. And I think I was trying to claw my way back in, and might not have done, but obviously it could have ended up an horrible. But again, it was the biggest blessing in disguise. And do you know what? Like, being deadly serious, we had some great nights after that. Quickly go through them, but that one of the best nights of your career.
The best.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. Yeah.
The best.
Fair play.
And just like to the build up of what. In the change rooms we had, and at the time there was only 2 little squash courts. They were proper boxing shows, and like, we were in one squash court, you were in the other, and obviously
the other side.
The Smith brothers were training with you.
Yeah.
Brilliant fighters. They were a part of Joe Gallagher's stable now. They come. I can't remember what one it was. They come in to watch my hands get wrapped. I think your brother was only young at the time as well.
It would have been. Yeah, would have been.
They come in, watch my hands get done, and just the banter was flowing. And obviously George had trained them and whatever, and it was all good. And then Paul Speak at the time, because he was on a Hatton show, weren't it?
Yeah.
Paul Speak passed me a pair of BBE gloves, the biggest pair of gloves you've ever seen. Pillows, and I went, "What do you want me to do with them?" He went, I ain't wearing them. I said, if he's not wearing them.
Oh.
He went, no. And
I would have worn them if you wore them.
At the time, it's like, everyone had to wear the same gloves, but then this rule just sort of changed in title fights. You could pick your own gloves then. So they wanted to give you a pair of Hatton Bays.
Which was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me a pair of BBE, and I said, nah. I'm not wearing them.
Should have got that in the contract.
And I'm not wearing them, and then, do you know what you mean? I said, well, and then Paul speaking the way they play it on. Don't fight then. I won't fight. Yeah. So I give this one. Put my kicks on. No. Yeah, you can have them. So I ended up wearing the raised gloves, and away we went from there. And it's just all little. They're just mind games. They're just little part and parcel of the sport. And it's mad because I think now, like, if we would have been around now boxing now in this era, the money we'd have got would have sold any arena. I don't care what you said.
Would have been massive.
Would have sold any arena out.
You shared the ring with some unbelievable fighters.
I knew this was coming.
Who's the best you've been in with?
You know what, Ant? I think Dom's probably asked me this question. Loads of. I couldn't. It's so hard.
So hard to pick
so
one.
I go back to, like, I'll go with John Simpson, British champion.
Yeah.
People forget John
Very
Simpson.
Good, yeah.
Unbelievable fighter. You, Flanagan, Chuy, Scott Lawton.
Scott was good. His lad's doing good things now, actually. Good fighter.
Flanagan.
Yeah.
Coyle. Woodhouse. There's like Marsili. Gavin Rees.
Gavin Rees.
Wow, Luke Campbell.
Yeah, it would be hard to pick one.
It's so hard. And Luke Campbell, it's the hardest.
I said that. That's why I massively respect Ryan Garcia in the set, where I really, really rate him, because Luke Campbell was one of the best in the world, and he hit very hard. And Campbell didn't just catch it; he caught him clean, put him over, and I think for all but 30, 40 seconds till he got his feet back. And I thought Luke was brilliant, by the way. He sort of walked Luke down and he beat him up, and I thought, no, this...
Luke hit me, and I don't know whether that was maybe because I was at the end of my career.
But no, he was sharp though, wasn't he? He was crisp. Never got hit off him, but I imagine...
He was crisp.
Distance was good.
He was crisp. There's been loads, you know, there's been like...
You couldn't pick one.
It's so hard. It's like... I think I must have had about 30, 12 rounders. So I've always boxed... I always wanted to box the best. I always wanted to be in with the best. Like, for instance, 20 years time, I'll see Anthony Pogo, me and him boxed. Boxed him. I've boxed him. And that's how I wanted to... I mean, when I say I boxed, I went in the away corner. I was there to win. I was the champion going after him. Boxed Gavin Rees. I was British. He was European champion. The winner boxed Broner. He went on to box Broner. So it's like...
Like I said, I could be here all day, mate, genuinely. But no, it's been a pleasure. It's great to be here. And mate, soon I'm sure we'll be in opposite corners with the kids.
I don't know what, mate. That's what it's going to be, innit? It's going to be.
Well, we might end up with the pros, but certainly with the kids.
With the kids, mate. And it's great, mate. To get the enjoyment you get out of coaching amateur boxing is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I've got a good club. You've got a good club, and long may it continue.
Thanks for having us, mate.
No worries, mate. Anytime.
Well, a nice little catch-up there between yourself
It
and
was.
Derry. Painful for you at times, Anthony, as we alluded to.
It's-
But, you know, it's the first time
makes
you've
me
had to
grow as
talk
a
about a
person.
defeat, yeah.
Yeah, makes me grow as a person, and you got to accept that. And listen, no, like I said, all joking aside, it was the biggest blessing in disguise, but it probably took me a few years to realise that.
Yeah, great fella, Derry, doing
No,
good,
he's doing
good
great
stuff in
things,
this gym here.
Yeah, brilliant things. Like I say, in the next few years, you watch the amount of champions he churns out.
Yeah, and gyms all around this city as well.
It's crazy.
It's totally
5
incredible.
in this mile radius is unbelievable.
Yeah.
5 very good clubs as well.
Yeah, and of course a fella that you both knew from amateur days,
Yep.
who's still fighting as a pro. At the weekend, of course, we got to touch upon, because we spent last
Yes.
week in London with Derek against Pulev, of course. It was the second time they met, and then Derek got the win this time around. Derek Chisora,
He
of
did,
course.
yeah.
But back in 2006, you were both ABA champions. He's still
Yeah.
doing the business, which may or may not make you feel a little bit old. But firstly,
Yeah.
Derek, the fight, do you want to see him do it again? Do you want to see him in a ring again? What do you think?
He's the last one on a very elite list from that year, and to be competing at the level he is still is amazing. But listen, I've got loads of love for Derek, and I think we heard what he said last week about retirement. What retirement was for. I'd love to see him sail off into the sunset now. That was a great win. Listen, close fight, but you know, done enough in a fantastic fight got revenge against Pulev, one of the top heavyweights in the world. But he's not gonna. He's gonna carry on. And I know there's been controversy whether he said Wilder. No one wants to see that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him look to revenge, maybe in Alanus or something like that, and then sail off. Or I don't know. There's other fights out there. But there's no point in me saying or anyone else saying, no, Derek, go and sail off into the sunset, because Derek does what Derek wants, and Derek is going to fight on, and we'll see there. But one more night for Derek Chisora.
Yeah. Well, Derek does represent the old brigade, if you like, still doing the business. So whatever he does, best of luck to him. But of course, one of the new kids on the block, and he's been around a little while, obviously, but he's in action at the weekend, stateside. Ryan Garcia against Javier Fortuna.
Super talent.
And again, he's been criticised, if you like, if that's the right word, for the Instagram following, and you know, he's a good-looking, fresh-faced young fella. But you know, we saw it against Luke Campbell that he can really back it
Make
up.
no mistake about it.
What can we expect this weekend? What can you expect from this fella going forward?
Ryan Garcia can really fight, powerful, very fast, and one of the top lightweights in the world. And he's in with a very good fighter in Fortuna. What do I think we see weekend? I think we see him make a statement. I really do. Fortuna's been one of the top lightweights for the past 5 years or so. But I think this is where I believe he really has to go out there, make a statement, and I believe that's what he will do. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's over inside the first half of the fight.
Some division.
Unbelievable division. As I always say, thank God I'm not there no more.
Right, well, before we get onto your bet and we wrap things up, there is another night of action, of course. There's a British title fight, and you've been very close to Mark Heffron, who, of course, he had a couple of close fights with Denzel Bentley. He's, you know, he's been in and around that kind of scene. Lennox Clark, similarly. It's a really intriguing fight.
It's a great fight.
Training alongside Mark, coaching Mark, as you have been doing, getting involved with his stable. I know he's had a really tough camp.
Yeah, Joe's really put in some time with him, you know, and I think Joe's always been one of the biggest believers for Mark Heffron. And here's my thing, I think he's got a very hard fight in Lennox Clark, who's very strong, powerful. If Mark Heffron boxes how Mark Heffron can, I really believe he becomes British champion on Saturday night, the third time of asking. Third or fourth, one of the two. Obviously there was Liam Williams' fight, but he's a super talent, but he's in with a real hard fighter in Lennox Clark. I believe he can do it. But he can't switch off for 1 second. And I've said it to Mark, and me and Joe were speaking about it, and I think Joe's more than emphasised there will be moments in that fight where it's not going his way, where he has to pull through it. And Lennox Clark will know that, and he's proved it time and time again that he can bite down on that gum shield. But hopefully it's another British champion for Joe Gallagher's stable. But it's a fantastic fight between two very good fighters.
Yeah, a good weekend of action to look forward to. Well, last week your accumulator nearly came off.
Very nearly did.
It was very, very close.
Technicality stopped it with.
It was really, in fairness. It was a moral victory, but you know.
It is, but we only count.
Rent, so.
No, it does. That's it. It's not going to pay the rent, and would have been more money into the charity pot. But so this week you're asking?
Yeah, go on. What's it going to be?
Garcia inside the distance. Garcia inside the distance. Garcia inside 6. Yeah? And Mark Heffron inside the distance.
Inside the distance. There you go. So Heffron inside the distance, Garcia inside 6. That's the Ant Crolla special. And if it comes in, it's going to charity as it always does. But of course, that's it. Remember, the interview that Anthony's done with Derry Mathews, there's a longer version on the YouTube channel as well. It is fascinating insight. Really is well worth to see the full interview. But of course, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe again, because that's what you've been doing. Keep it up. Notifications, turn them on, like everything. And that'll do us, I think. So from the fabulous city of Liverpool, not as hot today, thank God.
Great to be here. I don't know if it's warm enough.
It is, yeah. It's just maybe a bit of cloud has saved us. But from here, well, we don't know where we'll be next week, but we'll be somewhere on the road.
Who knows? We'll be on the road.
We will indeed. Thanks very much indeed for watching the Lightweight Boxing Show.